Making mate, making routines great again. The biggest pitfall in property management that a landlord or a tenant can fall into. Stay tuned.
I'm the ringleader, so listen up.
Right. Claire, how are you this morning? The property manager of the year 2023,
Good
according to
morning.
me. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good today. We're coming closer to the end of the school holidays, so we can kind of see a little bit of, the distance, the sunshine in the distance.
There's a bit of light at the end of the tunnel, you reckon?
For sure, for sure. Oh, it's okay. It's good having, my son home as well, but it's just hectic. I want my house back.
Yeah, and I get traffic back when the school holidays finish. What is it about school holidays and no traffic? That's so good, but I still can't. It just must be a shit ton of students and parents congesting peak hours.
Yeah, that's it. And, people take longer to get ready when the kids are around and you don't have to be anywhere. So you're not leaving the house till about 10 or 11 and then you go out and do all your stuff, whereas, like you said, in that peak hour, you've got to get everything done and everyone's in the same boat and everyone's doing it at the same time.
And I reckon I saved 25% on time in traffic. But anyway, over to our topic. Cleo, the biggest bugbear, the biggest time consuming thing that you do, and you started the morning off having a whinge about it. Can you tell us?
I know, I did. I know. I'm so blessed and I'm complaining, but it is one of those things where when you do something so much and it's so repetitive and so mundane that you look at it, and that's how we've changed a lot of things in our office and in our procedures, where we've gone, what, this is dumb. Why are we doing this? You are often the catalyst to say, why can't we just do this? And then we think, oh, why can't we? And the ingoing condition report is something that's a bane in my professional life. I just feel like it could be done better and more efficiently and save time. And yeah, it's one of those things where as soon as you get, like a new management or something and it's a big house, you're like, oh my God, I've got to do this ingoing now, and it shouldn't be so, it shouldn't be something that you don't want to do. It should be something that you can do quite efficiently and then get back to what, you need to do.
So for the lay people, in terms of skills, in terms of property management, in terms of the everyday people, um, when a tenant moves into the property, they've got to sign something saying, "Yep, I agree. This is exactly what I'm taking." When the tenant leaves that property, the tenant goes, "Yep, I agree. This is how I've left it." When there's a massive difference that's more and beyond wear and tear, then that report gets ripped out and compared in a tribunal situation. So it's sort of the landlord's Bible for property management. They rely heavily on this ingoing report and outgoing report. How long will it take for you to put together a ingoing report for a house?
It could take up to 4 hours if you're doing it properly. If it's a house that's new, without any damages or nicks and scratches and things like that, you can get in and out pretty quickly with just the photographs, and then you can type up the report later. But if it's an older style house, and you're not just doing internal, you got to do external, you're doing under the house, you're doing eaves, gardens, like it can take forever to do a house. So when we're renting property and the property manager gets a house, you're like, yes, I love it. And then you're like, oh, I got to do the report now, So it's one of those things. But the written report is what I find confusing to me because I have forever been writing the same thing: white paint, downlights, roller blind, Venetia blind, this, that. You're recording information over and over again that's the same, and then you're also photographing the same thing that you've written, so you're doubling whatever it is that you're reporting on. First you got to take all the photos of the same thing, and then you've got to write and describe. And I'm like, well, every time I'm writing out these reports, I'm like, can't you see from the photos? You know it's a downlight. It can't be a chandelier if you're looking at it. It's a downlight. Why do I have to write downlight when I've got 10 photos of the downlight? You know, something like that, I feel that we could do better. There's got to be some kind of, I wouldn't say shortcut, but just better way.
I'm feeling body cam. I'm feeling chat GPT. I'm feeling transcriptor, like, automatically transcripting what you're saying. But it's pretty incredible that, in the 70s and 80s and 90s, people heavily relied on only the written report. Then everyone came and went, aha, alas, we're going to take photos as well. They increased their workload. They probably doubled their workload in an era where technology came so far. And this is an industry-wide thing. So I guess something that's really important for people to at the moment, because, okay, this is for real estate agents, right? But for the landlord and for the tenant, what are the tricks that you want to point out for them to watch out for with these reports? Because there's people every day moving into real estate, rent for rent, and moving out, and there's often broken hearts. What's
Yeah,
your
it's true.
your number one recommendation on ingoing reports?
I like the word professionally cleaned. So if you can get a tenancy approved where there's a cleaner that goes in at the start and a cleaner that goes in at the end, there's usually no dispute for anyone. When something's professionally cleaned and you can back it with an invoice, if you've paid a cleaner to do your exit clean, for example, and you're paying $400, say, and you've got that invoice to go
So
with
much.
it, you can use that invoice for the next ingoing tenant. This is the ingoing report. This is how it's handed over. It's been professionally cleaned. Therefore, when they move out and they do the same thing, there is no cleaning dispute. There's no going back and forward with photos of the oven, of the rain shield, of this or that. It's done. Like, it's the same with carpets when we used to write professionally cleaned for carpet. Another thing is being strict on the tenants returning the ingoing within 7 days, and not giving a word copy, because it is easy for a tenant to just write on the report, don't agree, dirty, 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 broken, broken, dirty, broken, whatever. They just fill all it in, dispute everything you've said, and basically at the end, what systems do you have in place to check that, they handed that back and those comments within the 7 days? Once the 7 days expires, the tenant's comments aren't really relevant because they haven't handed in that report within that time. So I'm strict on that as well. And, making sure that there is, basically, if someone's written there's a dispute on an ingoing, that you go and sort it out. Like you go to the property and you say, well, look, I don't agree with your comment. Like, this is clean, or this isn't damaged, or whatever it is. Don't just leave it to the end, because then it's a mountain instead of a molehill or whatever.
And this can go, this when this goes bad with these ingoing inspections, everyone loads their guns and gets ready just to lose their shit.
It's true, because it's bond and it's a lot of money. It's usually to do with cleaning. Damage is like, you can't dispute damage. So there's a hole in the door at the start and a hole in the door at the end, and you've written hole in the door. It's a hole in the door. Fine. It's cleaning that's always the dispute with ingoing reports and people's level of clean. You could write dusty. I like that word on the ingoing. It's just a little dusty. And that's the property manager's way of saying, it could be cleaner, but it's just dusty. And then the tenant writes dirty. So dusty and dirty, they don't match. So that's where you go to the photographs and you're like, well, you know, and not a lot gets picked up. When it's something minuscule, it doesn't get picked up in a photo very well when it comes to cleaning. Like a dirty oven or toilet or shower, you can really see, but if the windows aren't clean or the window sills or the skirting, like you can't pick that up in a photo. So I do understand, again, on the flip side, the report, but if we could just like have the ingoing clean, the outgoing clean, you know, these reports, I think they're going to die out at some point. There's only so much descriptive words. Like everyone asks in the office, you know, when they're newbies, they were like, what kind of blind is this? And you know, you become an expert on describing what you're seeing when you've been doing this a long time. You know, what kind of blind, what kind of drain, is that a chrome tap or is it a polished, you know, brass tap? Some people write gold tap and it's not gold.
Yeah, right. So basically, we're in trouble as an industry where we're investing way too much in ingoing and outgoing inspections. But I guess it's working for tenants and it's working for landlords, but it can be done. If you could suggest a way for that to be done better, not time saving, but where's the sort of touch point in our industry where what do tenants want to see now and what do landlords want to see now out of these ingoing and outgoing reports? How do you make them better for the tenant and better for the landlord?
I think the report isn't where all the weight is. If you go to NCAT on a dispute, it's all down to photos. So if we could include a video or photos or something that, you know, is a way of the, you know, pen and paper, so to speak, I think that would help everyone. Because, you know, even in an email, you're describing things with the tenant at the outgoing. It's always the photo, it's never the report. It always goes down to, you know, the report comes down to whether or not they've agreed and they've signed that they've agreed on how it looked, but it still always comes down to the photo. Here's a photo of the grass at the start, here's a photo of the grass at the end. It's dead, you need to have it fixed. It's always photos. So if we can include the photos and videos and add that, you know, as in the main part of the report, as opposed to typing out a lengthy, you know, describing essay, so to speak, I think that would make everybody happier, because then you're spending more time on, you know, looking at the faults of the property, the condition, the actual way to make it better, rather than figuring out what kind of grey it is of the paint to try and describe it, and then you have to write it, and then, yeah, I don't know. Just
Jeff says
throwing
not
that out.
photos but videos. Yeah. The thing with the video is, I guess you've got to force a tenant to agree that that's the video done on that property at that time, so that they've got to watch it. Have they watched it? They signed a disclaimer. I guess it can all be done. But big hole in our industry. Let today be the line in the sand for Novak Properties to revolutionise something, which we did with our routine inspections. But Cleo, thank you for coming on, and I look forward to finding a solution for this big problem.
Oh, I'll be in probably about 3 hours late today because I'm doing an ingoing, a big one.
And you're not joking.
No.
And you're not joking. Far out. All right, take care. See ya.